It is our leadoff question with Jesiah Gooch, a member of the Hillsboro football team. Jesiah, in your opinion, what's the hardest thing to learn or do in the sport of football?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to learn or do is just to get everybody to buy in. It's hard to get all of your teammates to buy in all towards one goal. If you have a few guys that want to do their own thing and just not buy in with the rest of the team, then it's hard to win championships. It's hard to have everybody buy in. You have to buy in for everybody to win, because I think football is just one of the biggest team oriented sports. Like, you need everybody to buy in to win.
For you as a leader on the team, like what steps do you take to make sure people do start to buy in?
Yeah, I think encouraging the young guys. It starts with the freshmen, making sure that they're having a good time, make sure that they're still working hard, but make sure that they are loving the sport and being developed by our coaches, and make sure that they are feel like they're in a good place.
Any tips or advice you would give anybody as far as making sure you kind of a part of a team and making sure everyone's incorporated with it?
Like I said, encouragement's a big thing. Start with encouragement. Try to get guys to buy in with that, and try to be a good friend and a good leader for them with encouragement, and just trying to be around them.
When did that kind of senior advice click for you as far as learning, kind of feeling a part of the system? Like, when did that kind of settle in for you as a high school football player?
Yeah, for me, it was my sophomore year when I first started. I had a great senior class that were great guys, great teamwork. Like, they wanted to be a part of the team and they want to help the younger classmen. So I had really good leaders my sophomore year. Great guys like Xander Hazlitt, Levi Smith, two really good players that helped me become the player I am today by being really, really good teammates.
That is Jesiah Gooch, a member of the Hillsboro football team, with our leadoff question. It is our leadoff question on Kansas Sports Chatter with Zane Viegra, a member of the Hayes High football team. Zane, the question today, in your opinion, what is the hardest thing to learn or do in your sport of football?
Football is a huge team sport. You can't win with one player, you can't win with one coach, or even a few guys. You always got to come together. And as a quarterback, you have to lead not just your team but your offense especially. And I think that's just a huge part. As long as you can have a good leader, have a good several guys, and all 11 players playing their heart out, and just every snap, every play, every practice. As long as you're going hard and doing what you do best and just doing your role, that's the biggest thing. But football comes with a lot of adversity too. You always ups and downs, big injuries. It's a contact sport. Not many sports you can go around and fly around to the ball and hit somebody. But that's just another aspect in the game that which makes it hard to stay healthy and stay with your team to be able to win those games. But yeah.
You mentioned, the leadership, like for you, like were you type of a leader that wanted to lead by example or kind of a lead by, using your voice as well? Like what kind of leadership style did you have?
Oh, I did both. I'd say, I always tried to get into the guys, whether it was in the weight room or on the field, just hyped up and ready to go, and making sure, if we're doing a play wrong, we get that right. I'll let the guys know, and also, just whether it's the little things, just running off the field, after a play or after just one of your periods in practices, just make sure you're hustling off the field and picking guys up, and having the energy in between snaps, not just during the snap or the play, but like I said, just having that energy is huge. That came a long way. We had a lot of energy on this team this year and a lot of good leaders, vocal leaders, and that comes a long way with go making a deep run in the playoffs and getting wins.
Did you have any like leaders that you looked up to when you were younger, like first starting out your prep career, Zane?
Oh, for sure. Like when I was in eighth grade, even there was Jaron Kanek. He was a senior when I was in eighth grade, and just watching him, and we always heard stories about him. And Coach Crow, our head coach, he would always tell us, the examples he held. Whether I was just in the locker room after a game, he'd be the last one out of the locker, making sure it was all cleaned up. And that I took that for example, and even seniors before me, I always noticed there's always those few leaders that would, take the time and, pick up in the locker room or just, do the little things right and lead by example.
That is Zane Viegra, a member of the Hayes football team, with our leadoff question.